contains strong opinions, explicit language, and possible adult themes. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the Smoke Free Radio Network or its affiliates. This program is meant for mature adult audience. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey folks, P. Basardo here, and you're listening to the Smoke Free Radio Network.
That was interesting.
Good evening, everybody. Mike Peterson coming back with another episode of Vaping in the Mic. I have been BSing and trying to set up all this stuff behind everything that's going on. So it's like I've got this happening over here, I've got this happening over here. And all of a sudden I looked up and it's 7 o'clock. Oh, shit. So, tonight is going to feel, and I told this guy earlier, tonight is going to feel like a cut and paste night. You're going to feel like you have been spending an hour with paper and glue and a lot of what the hell. Because this guy, do you know, in all honesty, he is an award-winning consumer advocate. And that award was given to him by Dimitri Agrafiotis. And I'll tell you something, he gets out there. He has the blog, which is vapinglinks.blog. See, I finally got it right that time. He also gets into Twitter. Now, what we're going to look at tonight in Twitterverse, I can only describe this guy as the Iron Chef of Twitter. Honest to God, because he gets in there and slices and dices and does not quit. And we're not talking with just anybody. The main purpose of tonight's show is going to be talking about him having... I would call it a conversation, if you really want to. Him having a conversation with the Surgeon General on Twitter. So if you would, everybody, please welcome this evening's guest, Mr. Kevin Crowley. And I have to unmute him before he can say a damn word. There you go, Kevin.
Thank you, sir. And just for the record, you started it. Is Jerome with us tonight?
No. See,
no.
You're poking the bear yet again. Good God, dude.
Okay. Did you ask him? I should have asked him.
Do you know, the way that things have been going, I thought about it literally, and then I thought, how quickly would the show degrade? You know? And then if we really started mashing on each other, all three of us started going at each other, would I have a SWAT team arriving at my home? You know, or would the power all of a sudden and the internet just go... Due to technical difficulties, Vaping in the Mic will no longer be seen this evening. So I decided to void all of that and just talk with you.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, whatever. All right, fine. Take all the fun out of everything.
Never know.
Now, for people that can see on... We're live on Facebook, so the people that can see the video, the phone lines tonight, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member to ZZ Top.
That's right.
No, put those back on for a minute, damn it. Don't you take those things off yet.
This is for Fig.
That's right.
I can't see the chat at the moment, so this is for Fig, just in case.
Mr. Fig.
I'll put the real light on for a second. Ain't much better, and I'm not any prettier. So there you go.
He's got legs. Right,
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that. Fig, that's for you, buddy.
I need my glasses, though.
You and I've got so many different little screens that are just like ambling all over God's green earth going on here.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Fig is in the chat room. Bill Tarling, my cousin Kelly, Fig Ramsey, Bill Tarling. You're in the chat. There's a bunch of people that are in there that I can't scroll back up. Paul Blameyer, Troop, Thomas.
Paul's
But
in enough trouble.
yeah, there's nothing but trouble in the chat room in its own right.
Good.
Now, I'm trying to pull this up because I want people to be able to see what this guy gets out, and he goes into the Twitterverse, and he will poke the bear quicker than anything, and I mean quicker than anything, and he doesn't let up. He goes right at it all the time. All the time. This is me. Bill Tarling would have an awesome capability of doing this. Me, I'm just kind of winging it. I'm putting up here. He started this a while ago. His Surgeon General's watch. And the picture that I've got on here is day 11 that the Surgeon General has not provided America with the best scientific information available. These cigarettes are safer, smoke-free, healthier alternative to smoking. Now, this... Please understand, Kevin didn't just wake up one day and decide to start going after this particular Surgeon General. He's been going after the Surgeon General's office since the last guy was in there. Only he's been piling it on this guy harder, might be the right word.
Probably.
What made you decide to go and do that in particular thing, the Surgeon General's watch?
With him, he's continuing to focus on kids, which I'm not against him doing. I want balance for the adults. And if the adults are hearing, well, if they're not hearing what they need to hear, how are they going to know? If they're not going to understand it, and all they're going to see is his narrative, those are his words, then that pisses me off. It's not helping anybody. You know, kids can't purchase this stuff, period. They're legally unable to purchase this. So
by law, they're not supposed to be able to purchase.
Right, by law. If you go around the corner at the local, pump and get some, that's fine. But what tripped me off with this one was the numbers that he was, I don't know, in front of me. He was saying that the rates were the same for the sales and the infractions upon vape shops. And that's what pissed me off about that. The Surgeon General watch itself, using the warning style that they use on the cigarette packs and the nicotine idiotic warning on the industry packs, required by law to catch his eye, or anybody's eye for that matter. And I'm allowed to say that because I'm a consumer, and I mean it. Everybody else can kiss my ass. So I'm talking for the industry, whether they like it or not, or know it or not. I think I know what you mean by my mic now, Mike. The idea that he's not telling the American public the truth pisses me off, and he's not doing it, and he's continuing not to do it. From day one.
Now, you mentioned see, my brain wants to go 118 different directions all at one time.
Me too.
In Twitter, you had started to mention more of the fact that he had gone and tried to portray vape shops as having as many infractions, infringements, letters, and everything else as C-stores, right, or many of.
Yep.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Technically, he did not. Technically.
Oh, really?
With his narrative all along, it's kids and shops and can we all get along and let's all agree and can we agree, and there's constant stupidity with it. So instead of that, he put no commentary, just worth knowing, with his arrows, and it showed It's Walgreens, Walmart, Dollar General, Rite Aid, all the normal subjects that are selling to minors. Sign our amendment. So he said he wasn't going to comment. Other people commented, and then I commented, and I can't see it right this minute. But he went from not commenting at all to saying, so they aren't included in this analysis. And he was right. They were not. Vape shops were not. I'm sorry. Most all vape shops are are independent, so they aren't included in this analysis. The fact is, some independent vape shops have an equally high violation rate. That's what got my eye. Excuse me. So he wasn't going to comment. Then he makes that comment. I'm not sure who he said it to offhand. I don't have that in front of me. But they're not included in the analysis. He was correct. That's true. The very beginning was regular stores, Rite Aid, Walmarts. Vape shops have an equally high violation rate. Burn my ass. And then he says to you, beyond that, if I'm getting ahead of you or not, but some vape shops, then several vape shops. Well, where's the data? I want to know. I want to see it. Well,
And
no, you have to find it. So.
that's kind of where I stepped in slightly.
That's your fault.
See, but I didn't start it. Honest to God,
no,
people, I didn't start this.
You were absolutely polite about it.
I just chimed in. The funny part is, and if people were to go and look at Twitter, see now if I start trying to pull all this stuff up to show you exactly what had happened, we would be lost. I would be sitting here in silence, scratching my ass, and we would all be wondering, did Mike fall off the face of the planet with the... Yes, I did. Here's the thing. I asked, because I saw that very same thing that you were talking about. And I asked the Surgeon General through Twitter, can you show me the data that you have, because it does not match what the FDA data is saying.
Right.
Now, he replied, part of it was a little bit condescending.
No. Didn't you feel better about him replying to you like it was something important?
Can you read what he actually said?
I can if I flip my screen.
The basics of it were, here's a link, go look for it yourself. Okay, fine.
No, that's not what he said. I'm going to disagree with you completely. Surgeon, you were polite, so I don't know if you have the screenshot up. Surgeon General, sir, you replied to me, vaping it, that some independent vape shops have an equally high violation rate, and quote, would you supply the data for this claim, as the U.S. FDA data set does not support this same suggestion? He replied 11 minutes later, because he's got nothing better to do. It's also work looking at that database for those who, A, say youth sales aren't at retail settings but over the internet. Clearly a lot is retail. Now he's backpedaling. Or B, that the FDA isn't enforcing, there are a lot of violations logged, or C, that we went from equally high to some vape shops aren't part of the problem. I know I'm being picky, I know I'm being pissy, but screw him. He's got a narrative, so do I. Then the next one says, I have doubts that you really want this information. And then he tells you how to get it with the link, and he will find several vape shops, which you absolutely did. He was right.
And that's what really started to irritate me. For a while.
Good.
For a while, I was not... I did not take the slap in the face on a personal level, going, I see, I doubt that you really want this. And, but it dawned on me, I'm like, I did not ask you for data for shits and grins, sir. I did not. You live in a world, or you work in a world, that it automatically casts doubt on anybody that comes to you for information. I honest to God, I feel sorry for you, Mr. Surgeon General. If that's the case... Or there's only two answers left. And I'll go out on the limb right now and say, so you've got three things. If you looked at me with doubt at first, You either work in a really crappy environment to where you have to doubt everything, number one. Number two, you saw vaping and you are predetermined with a thought pattern.
Preconceived notions.
I'll say it. I don't care. The only third option left, Mr. Surgeon General, is you are prejudiced.
Yeah.
There is no other alternative for you to return. I've never met you. I have no relationship with you personally, professionally. I have no relationship with you at all. I asked you for a simple data set, and you come back with this. Really? What the hell did I ever do to you, dude?
Go find it yourself.
And I did.
But I doubt you really want to.
Yeah,
Come on.
I don't ask for stuff. Just, hey, can you provide me 18,000 documents on this so I can sit on it and... No.
He's a busy guy, Mike. We shouldn't be impugning on him.
Yeah.
That's all. But if you want to step up to the plate and mouth off, you need to back up what you're saying or shut it. Well, that's all. That's all I got, really. I don't know what your screenshot's going to be. Go ahead.
I'm going to put up there
Yours.
what I went through and talk about this.
See what Bill's got in the chat room. It's his responsibility to provide the public with the information upon request. See? I've read his job description on the main website, but that's not what he's doing. And Bill's got it nailed the same way.
Yeah. It's true. It is true. Mr. Gorlitz is here. J Love, how you doing, sir? Here's what I found. And it's that graphic. You'll probably be able to look at it if you're looking at... This is what I came up with. I had to go through and plow through Excel sheets for all of this.
It took you a while.
It took me quite a while, which I don't mind.
Right.
I don't mind because at the end of the day, it gave us a really good, clear, concise idea of what is really going on. And I gave this to Kevin, and he marked it up with red pen and all kinds of other things, and immediately went right back to Twitter. You know, here goes Mr. Slice and Dice, and off he ran with that, and God knows what. We'll talk about that in a second, too.
You started it.
But here's what I found. Between 2017 and 2018, if we go back to 2016, they weren't even looking at vaping for infringements, infractions, nothing. They had, I think, 136 or 176 total violations. Before 2015, they had nothing. 2015 and before, they had nothing about ENDS products, vaping. Okay, fine. So the only two comparative that I could find was 2017 and 2018. The total inspections, for people that are listening on Spreaker or through the blog, the total inspections for 2017, they did 168,775 inspections. Versus 2018, the number of inspections was 146,376. Sticking with 2017, the violations that they had, 20,758 violations. Now, I broke this down, and I took a look and said their ENDS products, they didn't list much of it. They did not break things down on the ENDS products very much. E-liquid accounted for 1,849 ENDS. They accounted for 1,445. So I went down through and listed Blue, Juul, Logic, Mark 10, and Enjoy, what they classified as other, views, and the total actual violations. And then I stopped and I went and I said, if we only look at pure vape shops, if it said vape and tobacco, if it said vape and smoke, if it did anything besides vape or e-cigarette, I threw it right back in with the other category. So out of all of those violations, there were 160 violations in vape shops. And other people have gone on now and gone back through and said, okay, How many did they pass? How many? I wasn't worried about that at the time. But when we go and
Just
take a
double
look,
the number.
yeah,
Even double the number. I'm not pissed. I don't like it, but I'm not pissed.
yeah,
I want to see what it is. You know,
and that's what I wanted. I wanted to see what the hell are we
equally
really.
high. I want to see equally high. Period.
Yeah, I wanted to go and look. What are we really talking about?
Because I got a guy in Ohio named James, and I got a guy out in, I don't know where he is. He's in California, named Fig, and I got people in Florida that I converse with on Twitter and on Facebook, and they're not doing that. You know, those people aren't fucking around. There are some that will slip through. Skip's out in, I don't know where she's cold, wherever she is,
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, Montana. It doesn't matter. I know in my mind, 99.99999 are not violating the law. They're ex-smokers. They care.
Exactly, and that's something that the general public does not get.
No, and that's honestly, I'm not defending my position. That's why I'm pissed. I don't own a shop. I don't have liquid. I'm pissed because they're fucking with this industry. And if, as a consumer, if the industry doesn't understand that, the industry can't get on Twitter and just do that and say things and say it's a safer alternative. And it pisses me off. So when he says something like equally high, you're barking up the wrong tree, period. Equally high. Well, if Bob had a violation and Kevin has a vape shop and Kevin has a violation, that is equally high. But take it out of context, snip it, narrative, whatever you want. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're perfectly fine. Because I was just sitting here and thinking, you're right that the general public cannot drop in and take a look. I got a lot of people that came back and they sent me a chat. They sent me a message. They sent me a something. Yeah, show me that shirt.
Yep.
Lungs. I can't see the bottom. There you go.
Matter.
Lungs matter. Damn straight. Who's that from?
Fig.
There you go.
He's got, I got one out of him. Oh, actually, I got it at James' shop up in here in Ohio, and then the other one I got in Bowling Green for two. I think I got two down there. I wear
them. Patrick, we're not going to even. All right, Patrick, clarify. Who doesn't cuss enough? Because I know
Is there a
that
drinking game?
every time we say the word vape, everybody take a drink. We will all be
it's
fucking
vape.
hammered by the end of the night. Play hands down.
I knew it was a 4-letter word. I wasn't thinking vape.
Well, it depends on how smashed you want to get, how quick. Come on.
Oh God!
But by the end, if we were to do that, by the end of the night, we should at least be on the same street that Dimitri and Phil can get into. I mean, those guys.
Yep. I want to bring up a point to that graph where I marked it up.
Sure.
Cigars increased from 5,600 to 7,600. Cigarettes decreased from 10,000 to 10,006 to 5,699. Cigaretter, which was singles, 92 to 48. Smokeless tobacco, 1,060 to 674. Ends and e-liquid were 1849, went to 757. So that's more than half. Ends itself, 1445 to 531. Now that's not vape shops. That's total off 17 and 18. And I thought, wow, that's astonishing. They did 146,000 inspections, and these are all going down, all of them, every one of them. And then the other part of your analysis I wanted to point out was in 2017 they did not count Juul, or they didn't list it. Excuse me.
I believe they threw it into the category of other because
Probably,
they didn't break it down.
So let's say it was 300 because it says other. So I was going to use that. 300, let's pretend it's all Juul. For 2018, Juul was 342, 29 out of the vape shops. If they were looking for Juul to be the epidemic, they forgot to do it when they were doing their inspections. That's what they forgot. as far as the inspections go. Kids using them on the side of the road is another thing. Selling them in a shop anywhere is obvious. It's not a Juul problem. Views was 1,729. I'll repeat, Juul was 342. Blue was higher, 742. Anyway.
It was. That's the one that got me. If people take a look at that bottom line,
interesting stuff
where it says views,
like,
where it says views, and
that's
they
crazy.
want to call this a Juul problem.
Right. Right.
Now, I know people, and I've heard it. Two things. Yes, Juul is the one that is easier to buy, that people are straw buying, picking up, going back, and doing all kinds of things and reselling them, and kids are getting them, so they are more popular. But by the breakdown of what the government is showing you, views has 3 times the amount of problem. Now, folks that don't know, that may be listening, Juul, previous to a little while ago, before they had a $12 billion investment for 35% of their company, $12 billion. Before that happened, they were a privately owned company, maybe with angel investors and things like that. Views is owned by a major tobacco company. So let that sink in for a minute. They're pointing to, oh my God, it's a juuling epidemic. And I hate the word epidemic. That just fires me up.
Doesn't exist.
But they never came in and told you that the number of violations for a big tobacco product was 3 times greater.
Right.
Why is that?
Right.
Now,
they haven't even mentioned that the cigars went up and everything else went down.
That's the other thing. Cigars increased like 36%.
Yeah.
Increase. All right, so we found all this information, and I spit this all right back out to Kevin. I said, here, have this.
He never responded.
Who?
Jerome. Dr. Adams.
The Surgeon General.
I'll try to be polite.
So I actually I put this in a tweet back to the Surgeon General and said, I'm sorry that, you doubted me. Here, on a quick glance, here's what I found. And I posted that same graphic into Twitter. And I'll tell you what, it took hold quicker than I've seen a lot of things. And mainly because of this guy over here on this side of the screen. That side? This side. Over there.
Wherever I am.
Mr. Slice and Dice of the Twitter universe. Now,
but he never responded back to you, did he?
No. I wonder why.
He wanted to be a smart ass, but he didn't want to respond.
I felt left out.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. And to say it's easy, what he said to me was it's easy to cut and paste snippets. So I've been using his own words against him.
And
30-day use.
That is something that it kills me, because here again, you're not just snippeting. What Kevin does, if I can find a piece here on Twitter, what Kevin actually does is he will take their entire tweet, 140 characters, 200, whatever it's gotten up to, and he'll underline in red and send it back to them with his comments. So it's not like you are...
I'm not making shit up.
No, you're not taking just little bits and pieces. You're not playing cut and paste, and I'll take these 2 words from over here, and it looks like some death threat from I don't know what. Mm-hmm. No, he's actually going after these people. That the way that you do it cracks me up. It's the
same with Gottlieb or any of the, and Glance blocked me. They block you because they know the truth, or they don't want you to know the truth, honestly.
Now, Twitter is one of those amazing things. Oh, dude, here's one. Twitter is one of those amazing things because it is a national kind of thing. Everybody and their mother sees it. It does not go away.
Yeah, and I'm nobody. I've got quite a few followers from the survey from 3, 4 years ago, but half of those are probably bots. You know what I mean? It's it's not it's not stature, believe me. But the truth hurts them.
I'm going to pull one up because this is right off of your own Twitter, where you said SG Watch and snippets, and then you had him standing at his podium, and you underlined, this is what he does, okay? When he goes back to Twitter, this is what Kevin does, is he will underline in red, he will highlight things that people have said, and then he will take 2 or 3 of them and post them all together.
Those are now called snippets.
Those are not, no, that's a direct copy. Where the hell does somebody get snippet from?
I thought that was funny when you put that.
Snippet my ass.
Narrative.
It is direct narrative. So you've got this guy, and he's talking about Jerome.
On his personal account. I don't know which one you're putting up. So.
It does say Jerome Adams. Now,
Which does
you
not
mentioned,
represent his employer.
You mentioned that he does this often. He will say and toe the company line on the Surgeon General's Twitter account.
Yep.
But then when it comes to something that he just wants to mouth off,
he gets a little more personal, yeah, which is actually pretty welcoming. I like engagement, but stop lying, you know. That's what that is. If you want us to agree, us being anybody that's saying, vapors, I agree kids shouldn't be using them in general. But you also have to define what age a smoker is a smoker. And you have to stop lying to the public.
Here's another one that you say snippets with.
Yeah.
Enforce the law. And again, he's talking to Jerome Adams, not the title or office of the Surgeon General. And he says, enforce the law. If you youth use any nicotine products, even cigarettes, daily, this is what he does. He runs back into Twitter, and he will shish kebab the hell out of people, which I find interesting. Here again, I'm not a Twitter guy. Okay, so I'm lost when it comes to this particular form or narrative or platform. But there are a ton of people that watch Twitter. Yes?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's not just this little small thing.
Ask Rosie O'Donnell. Ask Roseanne Barr. Right? I mean, I'm not those people, but I'm defending an industry that's being decimated by assholes like him. So that's my bottom line. Stop doing that, or I'm going to keep calling you out on you doing it, and it's not going away.
This is one I need more lessons from Bill Tarling. I swear that man is going to get tired of me. I keep trying. I really do. Bill, I'm trying to put your stuff to good use here, dude. This is one from, on your Twitter account, where you took a lot of data and you put it into one large graphic and said, there's the data. And now there's the U.S. Surgeon General that had done something. It put a tweet in. There was me, and then you took all of this, the graphic that I did, plus somebody else had gone down and did a breakdown of 2018.
Yeah.
And here's...
I want to stop you. On the dates on those, the few youth use any nicotine product, even cigarettes daily, tweet. I think it's the 15th of December. His announcement of an epidemic was the 18th of December. Read that tweet. Few youth use nicotine product, even cigarettes daily. Period. I don't understand where an epidemic will come from.
Evidently, it happened in 3 days only.
It had to. Mike. No, come on. You started it.
Yeah.
I saw Jerry's comment. The fact that 18-year-olds can buy the entire shelf at most C-stores with no questions asked. Yeah, absolutely. They're straw sales to their 17-year-old friends. I believe that completely. I got cigarettes when I was, 12 years old, walking into a store.
See, that still blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, then I stole them from my dad and, all that good stuff. And my older brother would give them to me.
It's not where you would get them. It's that you were smoking at 12.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Okay, again, for people, if you don't know me, I am an old nerd or a geek. I have been this way all my life. I am one of the squarest, whitest guys you will find on the planet. Okay? Instead of doing things, I would rather sit down and read a book, things like that.
Yep.
I'm into my computer. I do a lot of things on my PC, programming and Photoshop, and this is what I do. So
right.
I didn't start to smoke until I was 19, after high school.
And that sounds funny to me.
Unfortunately, I fell into that point of a cigarette and a beer went hand in hand.
Right.
This is back in 87.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I hear people that are going, I started when I was 12, I started when I was 9.
Yep.
So I'm going to say a funny, and I want people to take it this way, but what the hell were you degenerates doing?
It was
Jeez, oh man, come on. You should have still been playing kickball or some bullshit like that.
I was.
Oh, bullshit. You were out back smoking. Who the hell are you kidding?
It's a thing. But everybody smoked except my mother. So.
That again, it cracks me up. It is hard for me to conceptualize or to try to be a comparative,
Yeah. And walking down the street
my
with
mom
one.
smoked, so it was available. It was there.
Yeah. It's environment. It's peer pressure. It's all the above.
No, I definitely didn't have any of that in high school.
Right.
I was here again. I was the nerd all the way on the other side of the building.
Yep. So on the Surgeon General, like with Jerry's comment, it
Yes.
is about kids giving their friends product. It isn't about vape shops. It's really not, in my opinion, about C-stores, honestly, either. It's straw purchases. So educating parents and the general public is something that should have to be done, and he's not doing it properly. So
he's not doing a lot of things in a proper fashion.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, appropriately. That's all.
How would he go about telling adults it's time for you to step up and be the parent you should be? To me, that's part of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
See, the FDA is watching because our live stream dropped out for a moment. Damn well.
If a statement was made that there are opportunities for adults to understand the choice of having this product and having the same message, exact same message, say that if you're a parent, then you need to understand what they are, what they're for, what they do, and why they're available. Any more than you would cigarettes or guns or cars or any product. It doesn't matter. This is a product that helps people stop smoking. If that is his narrative, allegedly, 480,000, 520,000 people die a year from smoking. That's their thing. And if they don't want to use this as a less harmful alternative, they're going to keep going down their path. So, and Jerry said they reserve the right to ban people and refuse service when they are threshold age. Oh, and multiples purchases. That's a good thing too. Yeah. That's what Skip's told me that too.
It is. There are often times that Jerry, he'll put posts up in Facebook that make me sit there and scratch my head and go, yeah, ain't that the truth? And
Jerry's actually, I've watched Jerry, and I try not to tweet under Jerry because Jerry is actually having conversations with the Surgeon General as a business owner. So I really do try not to be a complete asshole all the time. So I want that for the record, but I'm not trying to be an asshole all the time.
Okay. I believe that.
I don't think everybody will, but that's okay.
No. I was walking through Walmart earlier today because I had to step out and pick up a few things and happened to go through the aisle that had Nicorette.
Mm-hmm.
It is at eye level with children.
Yeah.
It is easily acceptable. A kid could pick up that box. Yep. It's 21 milligram. They've got the clear patches that go on your skin. Here's my questions.
Okay.
See what you think about this.
All right.
See, folks, again, I apologize. I said at the beginning of the show it's going to be a cut and paste night. My brain is everywhere, and we are going in multiple directions at once. They want to, and they're trying to pass taxes on e-liquid that contain nicotine. Yep. Because it's a tobacco product, just because it has nicotine in it.
Yep.
Why are those same taxes not being applied to Nicorette gum?
I'll watch the chat as best I can. Those are medicinal, formerly prescription, and now over the counter.
But they have nicotine.
Yeah.
They've
deemed it a tobacco product by legal definition, period.
Vaping.
It's not tobacco.
They deemed e-liquid nicotine tobacco.
They deem my battery tobacco,
You're
for
right.
that matter. And my blog and this show and everything else in between. I don't know what's changed. I haven't paid attention. But software up. Come on. Think about it. They want
Jerry's
to replace
got a
the
link.
tax.
Let me check and see. Yeah, it's right there. Nicotine gum. Approved. Yep. It's $11.99. Right above the fucking Tic Tacs. Right above the Tic Tacs. Folks.
Right above the Tic Tacs. And if these children are so addicted to nicotine, and I know I can get flamed all day long for this, depending on the crowd. If it's so addictive, why are kids not running in there and snatching it and running out the door?
Yeah. It's right next to the Altoids, the Icebreakers, the Cheez-Its. There's a little bag of Cheez-Its hanging on the fucking shelf. Come on.
Bill said it. It's protecting certain things. Yeah.
There's no lie about that.
Protecting their money is what it's doing. It's a new way to tax us. Shame and tax. Shame the smokers. So I quit. Well, that's too bad. We're going to tax you on that too. So, come on. A lot of silliness.
You sent me 3 or 4 different pieces.
I'll pick them.
There's one. I'm going to put this out here.
Whichever one makes you laugh.
Oh my God, they all make me laugh. They piss me off is what they do.
Yeah.
Jerome Adams, we can work to preserve the option for adults, but not as long as the vape community continues to ignore or deny the U.S. youth use epidemic. It's why I keep posting the articles, but sadly it seems no amount of data or articles will move you. That was his tweet. Jim McDonald came back and said, "We won't tell smokers that vaping is safer until a few vapors on Twitter admit that a large increase in occasional use constitutes an epidemic or of addiction." See, no kidding. That's exactly what he's saying. It's a threat, and it's not appropriate for a public health official.
No, it's not. Am I close enough to the mic?
Could you back up just a little bit and say that again? That way you're not eating the microphone.
No, it's not appropriate.
Now, why? Tell me, in your own verbiage, why is that not appropriate? Even on his own personal account, why is that not appropriate?
It has nothing to do with data. Data is data is data. When I did my silly little survey, which I was extremely and still am proud of, everybody said, it's shit. It's not data. And then some guy who does data said, you know what? It's data. Anecdotal, but it's data. So if you want to go strictly with science, strictly with data, like the public servant is supposed to do, then he's not doing so. It has nothing to do with Bob, Jerry, myself, James, you, anybody agreeing with anything. Show me the numbers. Show me the truth. There it is. And you keep posting your articles, and I'm going to keep poking you in the ass. That's all.
And he does, because the fourth picture that you sent me,
yep.
Few use any nicotine products, even cigarettes, daily. And like you said, that was on December 15th.
Right.
And then they came through. Now, here again, folks, this is what Kevin does. He will sit down, highlight, mark up everything that they come across and say. And it's not to try to nitpick. It is not cherry picking. It is, dude, this is what you said. If somebody cannot be more articulate in their typing or in their verbiage or in their conversational style, then they need to go see a professional in order to be able to do so.
Or maybe get an intern to do it correctly.
Could you see an intern actually trying to type some of this shit out?
God, I wish I had an intern.
An intern would be going, we are lying our asses off. Yes, put that out there.
That's why the CDC actually tweeted something about, I don't have it in front of me, but join CASA. Somebody actually tweeted it. They deleted it, but somebody screenshotted it first.
That was actually put out by somebody in the CDC.
Yeah. I've got it somewhere. I'll send it to you tonight, if I remember.
That's it's actually kind of very funny.
One Clearway, Minnesota said, how did they put, I don't remember the exact words. Smoking was safer than vaping or something to that effect. It got screenshotted. Breathe, California just put something out a few weeks ago. They got hacked, I guess. So whatever.
All right. For everybody that's out there, I get to run on my mouth and I don't even pay attention. It's already going on 10 minutes to 8. I need to stop for our sponsor break, because without the sponsors, Smoke Free Radio could not do what it does. So if you would stick with us, we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes.
Hey now, this is Dimitri with Smoke Free Radio reminding you to please show some love to our wonderful sponsors. Without them, there would be no Smoke Free Radio, and they are as follows. All the way from Florida, Moon Mountain Vapor, with locations in Florida, and their liquid available for wholesale and retail, moonmountainvapor.com. Some of the best custards and tobaccos on the market from the Brickwills Vaping Company. The lovely Shell with a vapor bar, locations in Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia. And of course online at thevaporbar.com. And who says you can't have award-winning e-liquid without cartoon characters? That's exactly what you're going to get at theplumeroom.com. And finally, of course, the Vaping Advocate magazine that has generously provided the telephone lines for you to communicate with us. Thank you for your support. And finally, for you, the listener, don't forget to check out the coupons and codes page on Smoke Free Radio. Pick up some e-liquid and save some money. From all of us here at Smoke Free Radio, thank you for your continued support.
Hey folks, P. Basardo here, and you're listening to Vaping and the Mic with Mike Peterson.
This evening, joining me is Mr. Kevin Crowley. He is an award-winning consumer advocate. He has, like he said, he mentioned he has no shop, he has no liquid line, he has nothing in the vapor industry. He works at this from the point that it is a tobacco harm reduction item. And he is passionate about everything that he is doing in all of that. There's only a couple people that I know that fit in that kind of criteria. It's just amazing. All right, we've covered slicing and dicing, you being Mr. Food Ninja on Twitter. And we've covered the things that I had to find. Now, I'll tell you something. Going through all that data set, it did open my eyes a little bit. And I know that everybody in the industry is aware of it. They've seen the numbers. They know it. But maybe there's somebody out there that's listening or will watch this later that does not understand when they say it's a Juul problem, that it's not a Juul problem.
No.
Okay?
It's an enforcement problem.
100%.
Nothing less.
And they turn around, they say, well, vape, and everybody, because of the news and the garbage that's going on, now automatically thinks of this little stick thing called a Juul. They say vaping. Oh, you mean this? No, dumbass. I mean stuff like this. Actual, honest-to-God, vaping. All right, it's all vapor products, and I get it. But I want the general audience, the general public to know it is more than just Juul.
It is.
Boy, does it make me upset.
Good. Maybe I can get even cuss, guys. If you can take, if you have a car accident, that doesn't mean the dealer caused an accident. You know, I mean, that's the quickest, simple scenario I can think of. It doesn't matter.
No.
We're all being blamed for it. The public sees, one of you guys put that in there, the public sees vape shops are selling to kids. That's why I made that little thing that we are not, we being you guys. You're not selling to children. You're trying to help people stop smoking who want to quit. And that's it. You're not marketing to kids. You are not marketing to friggin' kids.
No.
Period.
In 2018, and I didn't write the numbers down, but for the ends products, meaning all vapor products, for the ends products, the violations that were handed out, vape shops only accounted for like 11% out of that particular entire category.
Yep.
So 89% of the problem is not a vape shop.
Not.
89% are your convenience stores, your gas stations, your truck stops, wherever you can buy those particular items. 89%.
Yeah. And I'm telling you to your face, if it were, I'd be bitching at the vape shops.
Yeah.
Period.
I know that you would.
I'd be screenshotting their silly asses.
And for people to get an overall, honest-to-God, big picture of all of this, if you look at the 2018 data set, vape shops, the infringements that they were handed out, only account for like 1.3% of the entire problem.
Yeah. I did a quick number and I forget what it was. I think it was whatever the total number was. It was like 30 shops a state or something total.
Yeah.
Infractions. I can't remember now, and I'm not a mathematician. I have a mouse doing math on Twitter. Whoever that really is, I don't know. It's nothing. I don't like it, but I wanted the truth, and you got the truth, and Jake got the truth on Twitter in a different form, but did the same thing you did. You know. But when I'm a smart ass on Twitter, if one more person sees what the data was that you guys provided, then they can change their mind. But if nobody's going to be a smart ass on Twitter, or informative if you want to go that route, then it's useless. He's just going to keep saying the same shit over and over and over and over.
And
it's not acceptable.
This cracks me up because you had put on your Twitter account, you said a snippet sneak peek, more snippets coming. But
I got
this killed me because there's red lines going every fucking direction that you can even think of, and I'm like, yeah. Did you have like a spasm with your?
Oh no, they all connect. I can't wait to see that on the screen.
It's from you. It's from the 12th. I've got red lines going to the Surgeon General, going to Jerome Adams that are just, do you agree? It's easy to cut and paste snippets from Twitter and make them fit a narrative. It just, really?
Yeah. He chose the wrong words for me because I'm going to take that literally. That's okay.
It cracks me up because this is what Kevin does, is he'll turn around and he will go in search of. And it's not that he's trying to hash out and make somebody look stupid. People manage to make themselves look stupid every day, all by themselves. They don't need help doing it.
Including me.
I'm right there with you.
Including me.
I can look like a dumbass real quick, right along with everybody else.
In fact, Jim McDonald is one who will, and I love him, he will correct me when I need to be corrected on specifically on the MSA. When I first started on Twitter, he was on there. And sometime in one of the states that is not in the MSA had a tweet from the state or a local health agency. And I said, your tax dollars at work. And that was untrue. So he corrected me. I'm okay with that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Screenshot me. Yeah, there it is. Screenshot me. That's all.
Here's another one from Kevin Shorter. This one is a picture of, I believe he's one of your favorite people. Glance, I think this guy's name is. Standing with his hand on a podium and a pack of Juul.
Mm-hmm.
Now, evidently, I have not read all of this, but evidently Glance was trying to tell someone, well, maybe kids don't know that they're not vaping nicotine.
All right, now Skip started that one.
Yeah, but here you are, and highlighting the shit out of this thing.
Well,
and you're sitting here, and you're going, well, they don't, evidently, they might not be able to read or, because it's right there.
It's pretty damn big. Now,
you can't miss it.
If you're getting it on the playground, it's not on there, so I get it. I get it. They're not going to have it in the full package. I understand unless they stole it, which is another thing they're doing. I'm sure they're doing that.
Oh, my God. How prevalent, and you might be able to answer this, you might not. How prevalent is this an issue in schools?
I don't know. My kids aren't in school anymore. I really should, and of course I'd get arrested for some other stupid shit. I should sit by the high school and just watch. But I don't have the energy or the time to do so. I don't know.
I was talking with another gentleman, chatting with him earlier, yesterday, I believe. And he said his kids are still in school, and he notices, and he talks with his kids about all of this. And his kids come home and they tell him, this is what's really going on. Mm-hmm. And he said that at times there can be an issue. And this gentleman's name is Mark Anton. He's with Safada.
Yeah.
And he and I were chatting about how much of an issue or what prevalences and things like that. And it made me wonder what on your end that it might actually look like. You mentioned earlier.
Yep.
See, here's a segue right into something else. You mentioned earlier that the FDA tweeted or did something this morning or today. And the look on your face turned around and told me, oh my God, here we go again.
Yep.
What happened?
On the red and blue pill?
Is that the one that you were talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Gottlieb put something about the red pill and the blue pill, and he put a rhyme about as long as they're approved, everything's safe. Safe. As long as they're approved. And I put underneath
I know which one you're talking about there.
I'll take $100 for what is black box. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not just screwing with the general. I'm screwing with Gottlieb too. And I think he's still on the fence and he's reading the narrative, so I don't trust him either. Yeah, take the red pill, the blue pill, they're both safe. It's FDA approved or something like that.
Oh,
kind of brave.
My God.
Yeah. Kind of brave.
I'm scrolling through the FDA. Go to Twitter for me for a minute.
Okay. Oh, you want me to start smacking them? Which one?
I don't know.
FDA or FDA tobacco?
FDA tobacco. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I'm on it.
Scroll down until you see don't charge your vape overnight.
Oh, I already tweeted under that.
Did you? See, this, I'm not caught up on some of this stuff. They're sitting here and they're trying. The FDA is trying to give you 5 battery tips.
Mike, that's tobacco. Tobacco tips.
Where the hell did they come off doing this?
That's why I tweeted under them. I gave them my own advice between Casaz in there and I forget the other. There's a couple organizations in there that have put out some pamphlets. James has them in his shop, actually, sitting on the table.
And it goes right into the FDA's website.
Yeah.
How to avoid vape battery explosions.
Wrap your batteries correctly. Throw them away properly. Don't use them if they're broke. All I've got's the Egos and my little eye stick, and now I don't even know what it is. Aspire Nautilus A10. So I don't use the mod stuff, box mods.
Okay, I'm going to ask because as I'm scrolling down through the FDA tobacco site.
Don't go too far, you'll get mad. Don't go too far. I'm telling you.
What narrative are they trying to drive right now?
Which one? They're not. Are they have you seen anything that says vaping products can help you stop smoking?
No. Then why the flying fuck are they sitting here saying protect your vape from extreme temperatures?
Right.
Why are you trying to tell me how to do something with my own vapor product
when you don't know what you're doing?
When you won't tell me that it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
You won't acknowledge the fact that it's 95. At least, God, I sound like Phil Basardo. Thank you, Phil Basardo. Seriously. Thank God Phil Basardo said it. Because it was a rant that just, I loved every minute of it. It's at least 95% safer, and you won't tell me that this is safer, but you want to try to tell me how to take care of my shit. Really?
That's a narrative in the nanny state. Stop smoking, but do it my way. Oh, you stop smoking. Well, that's not the right way. And we're going to tax you. And we're going to ban it from you and your friends who smoke.
It's just, this is unbelievable.
And please take care of your batteries. They don't tell you to take care of any other kinds of batteries.
It's no wonder you get up cranky some days.
I am cranky. Snarky.
I mean that as a joke, but I can, looking through this, oh my God.
I can't imagine somebody brand new just going down my Twitter line.
They would think that you need medicated in a straitjacket and all kinds of shit.
But one person might see the truth.
I'm hoping that they do.
And that's why I do it. I don't care what they say. If they're, I've actually retweeted the Surgeon General on a few things. I really have. I've retweeted Gottlieb on a few things. I really have. You'll have to dig to find them, but I've done it.
When Albert Michael Harper in the protect me to death, please.
That's what they're doing. Thank goodness for the FDA. And
oh, yeah, they're going to help me save my batteries so they don't explode. But they're not going to tell me that this is a safer product.
No.
We won't do that.
Now, on the other hand, instead of ripping Adam's ass, Gottlieb has made some statements publicly. You have to find them. They're deep within a video, mostly. And Surgeon General has made one comment that I can find. I think he's made a couple more now. I'm not adding them on because it's not in my narrative or data momentarily. I'll put them in. But Gottlieb it's a safer alternative if we get them all switched. Zeller said it in 2014. They're probably sitting there eating their words, like Glantz has. as well, but they've said it, but who are they telling? They're telling the people that they're telling, don't let your kids do this. This is an epidemic. They're telling the PTA that. They're telling the soccer mom that. They're not telling the American public that. So that's what I'm trying to do.
This is what really pisses me off, because they're on one side of their mouth they are saying one thing, out of the other side of their mouth they are saying something else, and out of the middle of their mouth they're saying something in a third direction. Right. And yet they want to bitch about it.
They're psychotic.
But now they're going to tell me how to protect my batteries.
Right.
And they want to rule it out of existence, because every liquid manufacturer, not every, see, I fall into that same pit trap. Right. There are many liquid manufacturers that truly understand that no one is going to pass the PMTA test in a liquid format or liquid manufacturer form. You know, it's so they want to railroad us to death and get us out of here, right. And yet they want to tell me to protect my batteries.
And in the end, what is my little tweet to tell him he's an asshole without saying it in those words going to do? Really, in the end, that's what pisses me off. Well, in addition to, I don't know.
In addition to many other things,
right.
All right, Kevin.
I put the comments of the CDC. I had to dig and find them. I did a blog, State of Public Health Failure, and I went through those. Truth Initiative has a comment. American Heart, American Lung does not. Cancer had 2 or 3. Surgeon General's website does not. Anyway, I put them up there. I put them in one spot. James grabbed it, and quite a few thanked me for it. So a vape shop can put it on. They can share my graphic, but they can't do it themselves. You know, and I'm not sure where the law goes on how you can say certain things now. Demetrius showed a picture of a shop in Tennessee, I think, with the Royal College of Physicians on the window, and I thought, well, there you go. It's not the vape shop saying it, it's the organization saying it. So consumers can say it, nonprofits can say it, shops can't. So I'm going to keep talking. You know.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I'm going to turn around and show people. I think it's your latest blog. And I want people to be able to see this. It is go to vapinglinks.blog.
Right.
Because this is where Kevin puts out his blog material. Okay? And the latest one that you had is talking about narrative snippets data. So tell me, while I'm scrolling through this in a slower fashion, tell me about this particular blog that you wrote.
It started because of his narrative to begin with. And when he said narrative snippets to me, I thought, well, that's a good title for a blog. All 17 people are going to read it. But the first part is falsifying data and manipulating data. And that there's actually I didn't really realize it, that there's a division of the Department of Health and Human Services called the Office of Research Integrity. Well, their definition of research misconduct is kind of fluid because it has to meet their standards of their own community. So automatically you're screwed because, well, Bob, would you have done that? Well, Glance would have done it. So yeah, it should be fine. We'll go with that. It's okay. You're not in violation. And then it went into the blog itself. I'm really scared of Nicolas Cage and pools because obviously it shows that. Then it's got you in there, him selling to minors, and I went on with his stuff from that. But the first narrative to me was on the 15th of December, before your official announcement agreeing with everyone else that there is a epidemic, was that you're not using anything but 30-day metrics because it's got potential. So potential to me is propaganda. And that's what that's called to me, potential. Yeah. If a kid takes a drink, there is potential he's going to be a drunk. There's also potential he's not. So I don't know. And then your charts, of course.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, and again, folks, go to vapinglinks.blog because this one, the one that he wrote previous to this, you've written a lot of very pointed material.
Sometimes.
Here's the part that was from Jake Jacobson.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke down what he found in calendar year 2018 from, and this again was from the FDA website that the Surgeon General pointed me to and said, go find your information. Sure. Not only did I do it, but there were other people that did the same thing.
And didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know. He didn't know you were doing it, and you didn't know he was doing it.
No.
I didn't know either of you were doing it.
When somebody tells me, I ask them for a piece of information, and they say, well, here it is. Right. You're damn right I'm going to go look through it. And I'm going to find out what is true and what is not. Even if I don't like what I see, I am at least faced with truth, factual truth.
Yeah. No, when they came out with the bonfire of taking a device, taking off the regulator, clicking the button until it was, red hot, and then they went popcorn lung formaldehyde. Well, if I didn't know anything about the industry and I saw it on the news that night, I'd have put that thing down and got a pack of cigarettes quickly.
Absolutely.
Quickly. So I watched these people do that, and I watched Dr. Farsalinos tell us the truth. I don't care what the truth is, Mike, and I don't think there's one person listening that will listen 10 years from now that's going to say otherwise. If this is worse for me than smoking, I need to know that. And so does everybody else. That's my bottom line for adults, period. And if it's not, I need to know that too.
And that, folks, is where he comes at this at a very different, I don't want to say slant because it's not. He's looking inside the vaping world box from an outside perspective.
It's a weird perspective.
It is. Honest to God, it took me, I don't know how long it really took me, Kevin. It took me a while to wrap my head around what you were doing and why.
It took
consumer
me a while
advocate.
To figure out how to do it.
Well, we're sitting and saying consumer advocate. It took me a while to really think about that and come back to say, okay, now I understand. Because before that, all I was dealing with were vaping advocates. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that you were saying were not necessarily aligning with what I wanted to say or what I agreed with.
Sure.
So my first inclination was to butt heads with you.
Absolutely.
And I would read through your stuff and what the hell is this guy talking about now? Let's go see what the fuck this guy's doing. Now, fine. And the more that I started to read, I understood better why you were doing what you're doing. Because Kevin is not just out there to poke fun at people, to piss people off. He's trying to find truth, whether it is with a product called vaping, whether it is with a product called IQOS, whether it is with patches, gums, anything.
Yeah. The patch, because you brought that up, they just showed that it's 800 people or 80 people, I forget now. I think it's Pat Hajek, Dr. Hajek, Professor Hajek, putting more patches on people, and they're finding that it works. It's an interesting concept because, those didn't work. So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that was the patch, gum, toothpicks.
Yeah, I read that they put 2 or 3 patches on a person.
Yeah.
And all they've done is increase the actual nicotine that is coming in.
Right.
And as much as I don't like it, that kind of sounds like some of today's pod systems that are higher in nicotine salts and things like that.
Yep.
But I will stop and point out, even Mark Anton brought it up, and he said something that struck me. He goes, before the pod systems like that, the industry was cruising along on 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 24 milligram. And they were successful.
Correct.
So we don't necessarily need a 50 milligram piece of equipment.
Correct.
Go back in the days when they were converting hundreds of thousands of smokers to vaping every year on an 18.
Yep. I'm still on 18.
So we don't need huge amounts. You don't need that pod.
No.
To me, I'm not a fan of the Juul. I truly am not.
Me neither. But it offered. We've talked about this on another show. It offered the smoker something quick and convenient. I read and I write for an audience like my dad or my grandmother. I'm 51. I don't know who's going to find me sometimes, but I get emails sometimes on occasion that'll make me go, that's why. There's the reason. I had a doctor emailed me a few weeks ago, and I'm not releasing information at the moment, but he does not smoke, or he's never smoked, and he does vape. He believes nicotine, first, is not addictive. Second of all, it's a weight loss that the pharmaceuticals do not want anybody to know about. And it's also the dementia and the Alzheimer's that we've already spoken about quite a few times over all of us. But he's going to email me back. And I wanted to release his statement in a blog, honestly, but I can use it. I haven't done so yet. I'm waiting on a couple other things for it. But that's who I'm looking for. I'm looking to either educate or be educated. I'm talking at a normal level. I don't say uneducated. I'm a high school graduate barely, so I want to go at that level. I write funny. I talk funny. It's okay. As long as people understand it or ask questions, I'm good.
And it's really the whole thing is getting people to listen.
Yeah.
You and I have said this, and everybody in the industry is saying we're all talking within this group of people.
Yeah.
And we're all talking with each other.
Yep.
And we all understand the same thing. We need to get outside of that.
That's why I'm pissing off the Surgeon General or Gottlieb or whoever.
It's the same reason that I do this show.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody will come across it.
There
or
was
my blog or Dimitri's show.
Anybody that's doing one. And I will point out, one of my cousins got in touch with me. And this was early on, and she asked, because I was doing a show, she listened, she paid attention, she called in, or she chatted, and she asked about somebody that was near and dear to her was vaping, but not smoking. And it created a conversation so that when we were done, she had a better understanding of what was truly being inhaled and get rid of the myth and all the stuff. So I affected at least one person. And if I can manage to do that here and there, then I'm doing something right.
Right.
That's the whole reason I do this.
Right. I joined THR for Life as a consumer. I'm on Dave's show because I'm a consumer. When I can, I listen to Demetrius and Phil. I listen to Patrick. I listen to quite a few people. I listen to you when I can. And the changing of the conversation has to start locally with shops going into their health department, and then, or whichever, and or their city council. If there is nothing going on and there are no laws, walk in and explain to them, like you just did your friend or your cousin, and say, these are the concerns I already know you have. These are the answers. Here is the data. Here's the things that you guys just did, you and Jake did with your numbers. We understand what the sign-our amendment is. Stop acting scared if you are. Knock on the door. You're a business concern. Set up a meeting. Start talking to these people. Get into a state group or a national group or both. Start your own. New Mexico just got one. And move. We don't have time to fuck around.
No, we don't.
We don't.
Thomas Kersop, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, If I'm not, Tom, I sincerely apologize. But he said he brings up the valid point of why I don't continuously bitch about Joule or pod systems, because SaltNick is just another tool
Right.
for conversion.
Right.
And it's true. It truly is.
Yeah.
It is another tool in the belt for vaping products, wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
And then just real quick, I see Greg Conley popped in.
Uh-oh.
That's a man that has
Okay.
been traveling his ass off here recently.
We better straighten up.
Oh, yeah. We have to talk correctly now.
Greg is another one to snag on some of these guys too. He's not afraid of these idiots. He'll snap them around.
That makes me laugh because I think about you, Greg, Bill Tarling, Phil Pisardo, Dimitri Agrafiotis, Fig Ramsey. Did you get these people that just at times have the propensity? You would swear to God they were trained by General Patton. Give it to them loud, give it to them dirty, and make it stick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Greg's given some people some shit over the years I've seen. So, and so have a lot of other people.
It was ironic. I had him on the show very early on, and Greg, I'm going to have you back on the show yet again. Now that I have learned to converse much better. Because I did an interview with him, and I was curious to things that he was doing beforehand. But just recently, I've seen him bouncing on flights all over the place, going and hitting T21 flavor bands, things like that. You know, between him, Dimitri, Phil, even Fig, these guys have got to be racking up like serious flyer miles or something.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot.
Because I'm going to get ready and wrap all this up. In closing, what do you want people to know? What do you want to tell them?
Depends on the subject. The government is lying. That's no surprise. Bill just put it on the chat. It's time to talk to your politicians long before the regulations come up. If they're already up, have them change them. Show them why they have to be changed. Ask them why they're regulating, restricting, taxing, and ban a less harmful alternative to smoking. Ask them why they want to tax that at a high rate or higher rate than cigarettes. Why would they want to ban 18 to 20-year-olds unless they're grandfathered in? Holy crap, 200,000. They have to get in front of these people, and I'm a consumer. I'm not going to walk into the city and change anybody's mind. They're not going to give a shit who I am. Oh, you're vaping it. Get out of my office. You have to do that as a business. That's your business. You know, you can't just sit on your ass and sell shit. You have to have somebody else sell shit while you go do shit. You know, that's my opinion, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong. But if you get them beforehand, when the heart, lung, and cancer guys walk in, they know people. They already have been to functions with these people. They're automatically going to be listened to. If you walk in and you have that data before they do, and you can show what's true, then Bill or Bob or Dave or Betty has to go, wait a second, I just had somebody stop in here a couple weeks ago. Let's see if this matches. Then you have proof, truth, and you're walking away. If they're still going to change it to your detriment, then I don't know what to tell you. But
there's a lot of people out there that just won't get off. It is apathy that is running rampant through our entire industry. Folks, again, this is Kevin Crowley. Go to vapinglinks.blog. I've mixed that up so many times. I put it on the screen. It's vapinglinks.blog. He has a ton of information in here. He has some rants in there. He's got links to articles about why it is safer. He has links to all kinds of information in that area. Now, Kevin, tell me how people can find you on Twitter.
Twitter is Vaping It, VAPINGIT, like I'm vaping it, not smoking it, was the whole point of that. If you look at the blog, it's got them all. But I'm on Facebook as well, my own, and then there's a it has to be a business page. It's not really a business page, but it's on there too. Which all my
Fantastic.
blogs. So
Kevin, I seriously appreciate you taking time
Yes, sir.
tonight, because the sad part is when I sit down and I'm this kind of upset, I can't focus well. I don't do well.
that's right.
You know, we covered probably a third of what we were chatting and talking about.
Right.
But hopefully people that are watching, listening, or catch it on the podcast, they understand a couple of things. The Surgeon General is waffling hard.
Yeah.
Okay, he might be a very nice gentleman. I've never met him. I'm not going to cast a parlor on him one way or the other. But reading that he goes, well, it went from many vape shops to several to a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, dude. You're in a very high appointed place. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Either get it together, or like Kevin had said, hire somebody to do it for you. Stop doing that. If you've got a narrative, speak the truth. Speak what you're doing, and leave the rest of it alone.
Yep.
For the FDA data set, we have shown, you have seen it, the numbers are there. It is not a jewel problem. They might have jewels that are confiscated in schools 3 times higher from a tobacco company.
Right.
That one just really pisses me off.
And you and Jake Jacobson did that math and those charts. Thank you.
Well, anywhere that I can chime in and give a little piece of information. You see, if we were to all do that, if everybody could put a little piece of information out here and there, and just like you do, you gather it together, you tweet about it.
Mm-hmm. And your work, and I believe the other one also, is going to at least one state group already. It's already in the works. So there you go.
Dude, that's awesome. If,
I love
here
it.
again,
I love that.
you know,
And actually, part of there's I think 2 or 3 of my blogs that are within something else within that. I'm not naming names, but yeah, use what I got. I'm not charging anybody for it. You know.
no. That's something that I hope everybody, either watching, listening, catches this later. Nobody in here, nobody on Smoke Free Radio, Kevin, people like Kevin, nobody is making a dime doing this.
If you'd like to send money, please do. But no, nobody.
I don't make money doing vaping in the mic. I do it because I love doing it.
Yeah.
You know, thank God Bill Tarling, way back when, said, oh, hey, you know, Dimitri used to offer free airtime to people, and nobody took him up on it. I'm like, well, shit. Does he still have it? I asked Phil, or I asked Dimitri, do you still have? 24 hours later, the man is teaching me how to do this. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's
Bill,
a passion.
Bill just said what he said. It's sad when a consumer with no ties to the industry in another country, him, pays more attention to the industry and legislation and et cetera than some shops do. If shops right now don't know something's going on with the FDA, they're fucked.
That it's true.
Take another drink, Patrick. They're so screwed. They have no idea.
Patrick's just going to be slammed drunk. I don't care what's going to happen. See, if I were to do that, we would be in so much trouble.
I try not to cuss on my blog too because I'm not looking for that narrative.
No.
It's pardon the pun. I'm not looking for that.
No, I'm not either.
You know, I do. I have on occasion, but it's
See, my kids are not immune.
right.
One of the first things that I tried to teach them after mom and dad, I tried my hardest to teach them bullshit. Honest to God, you can ask anybody in my family. All my kids, that was one of the words I wanted them to say was bullshit.
Yeah.
Just for grins and giggles. You mentioned Bill Tarling. For the people that don't know, and if you are interested in seeing how Bill puts his information together, if you are on Facebook, go to this place right here, Vape Distortion. He's also got vapedistortion.com. Vape Distortion is a public group. You can go in and you can scroll down through here and just real quick, if you take a look, okay, FCC considering laws banning vape promotion. Hong Kong vape. I mean, he's got things coming around worldwide. Here's a piece from Utah, Hawaii, Italy, Calgary. I mean, this guy is putting South Carolina. Go to Vape Distortion group. Yeah. Scroll back up so you can see it right there. And just like Kevin, these guys are not making money doing this.
And we're not screwing around.
No.
Bill does what I do in a much better form I do on Twitter. He does on Facebook, and it's immaculate.
Between the two of you, there's probably very little information that escapes or is not recognized.
And I've got sources. I've got the Vapors UK. I do their blog on their news once a week, and I contribute to them. There's a couple other groups I'm in. I've got the Google alerts, just like Jerome does, et cetera, et cetera. Twitter on its own, it's massive for information too. So we can pretty much cover it all. I'm not sure where Bill gets his exactly, but
Bill gets his stuff from every place on the planet.
If I can't find it, it's on Bill's page.
Now,
if I can't find it on Bill's page, it's on Vapors UK.
Yeah, it is ironic. When I really first got to know Bill, he sent me a link when Akron, Ohio was trying to begin to talk about passing a T21. He sent me a link to the news about Akron, Ohio, the state that I live in. This guy lives all the way over on the west side of fucking Canada, and he's sending me a link to my local news before it even hit my local news.
You have to love Bill. If you don't
I
love
went,
Bill, raise your hand.
My God.
He's something.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back real quick.
I saw that.
No. Kevin runs, again, vapinglinks.blog. Please go check it out. If you get the chance, go check out his Twitter account. You won't be sorry. There's so much that he's got going on. It is difficult. It's difficult for me because it is hard for me to try to keep up with everything. How you guys manage to do it, like Greg, Dimitri, Phil, Bill, how you guys manage to do it, it blows my mind. What you guys do is just fantastic. Kevin,
yes, sir.
Seriously, thank you for joining me tonight.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Oh, we're going to do it again here before long. Trust me.
Good.
I absolutely know it. For everybody else that is out there, it's been a good show. There's a lot of information that is packed in this. I apologize for looking like I'm doing the slalom in the cone section. We're in and out of everything, but it's a lot of passionate kind of stuff, especially when somebody tells me to go find my own stuff. All right, fine. I'll go find my own stuff. Anyhow, everybody have a great weekend. I will catch up with you again next week on another edition of Vaping in the Mic.